LOCLOUDANE.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining me for this update video. I'm going to try to keep this tight and quick. I'm obviously here with my beautiful wife, Allie, or Mrs. LOCLOUDANE, and she's going to be helping me a little bit with the Q&A later on in the video. But I want to start off with some important changes that are coming to the channel, or at least, if not changes, some refocus here. The first is over the last 6-ish months, I have been testing out new types of content on the channel, on my main channel, LOCLOUDANE RPG. This does include video essays, reviews. I've done a few I've done top 10 lists. I've done some retrospectives on non-PS2 titles, even some gameplay stuff. And really the only thing that's stuck has been top 10 videos. But I'm grateful for everyone who's joined the channel because of those the test content I've done. Obviously, though, the main draw continues to be for the main draw for my main channel continues to be the Who is Best series. The top 10 videos, especially the top 10 broken videos that I've done, have got a lot of attention, a lot of subscribers. And then even though my view count on the PS2 retrospectives are lower than the other two, the conversion of subscribers is very high. So with that being said, I have decided to make a few changes here to capitalize on that. First and foremost, the main channel, LOCLOUDANE RPG, will focus in on these 3 types of content. I'm going to be focusing in on who is best and which is best, and I'm going to be balancing both new titles and retro titles to try to make sure that everyone gets kind of what they're looking for. I'm going to continue exploring these top 10 lists. I have a few fun ideas. We've mainly focused on broken party members. I'm thinking about jumping into like one-shot attacks that in RPGs, maybe broken equipment in RPGs, some of the most incredible, like top 10 bugs in RPGs, different things like that. So I'll be exploring that, and then I'm going to continue my challenge of beating all 160. I believe the count is 166 now. PS2 RPGs. They keep on rolling out with these fan translated PS2 games. So I will add those as they come, which I'm having a lot of fun with. Now here is where another change. For the last 2 years, I have done 1 video per week. It has been an absolute grind to hit that. I've only missed once when I broke my hand. I have realized that, especially for those of you who have stuck around the longest and have seen my channel grow, the expectation is high on my videos. My videos are research-based. A lot of them are research-based. I do very, very little content that's just kind of opinion-based. And so it requires a lot of work. It requires a lot of research. Also, over the last like 3 years, RPG releases have been incredible. We've had an awesome, last few years, but with that has come just an influx of games that I need to play through. And so I'm giving myself more time to play those games and do the research. And so my goal is to have 2 videos per month. I'm going to try to do one. I'm going to pick specific dates. I'm going to try to do a video on the 1st and on the 20th, kind of like the payday model, you know. And so two videos per month. I'm going to try to up the quality of those videos and really pursue a quality over quantity plan here. And that will give me more time to spend playing through some of the games, especially some of the most recent releases. I mean, you have Claire Obscure, you have the Suikoden remaster, the Lunar remasters. You have, I mean, there's just so many games. I still have not played the newest Atlas game. I forget what it's called. There's so much I need to play through, so this will give me some time to do that, and again, do my research. So with that being said, I have moved my study music, which I have a great passion for video game music. I love putting those together. I've moved those to a specific channel. I know that they did not get a lot of views, but those who did view them very much enjoyed them. I hope that they're used during work and study to help you. If you'd like to follow that channel, it is LOCLOUDANE Study. I'll link it in the video. And then I'll continue to run my gameplay channel. For those who don't know, I do have a channel where I put all of my gameplay. So far I've done raw gameplay, but I have started posting kind of story summaries of the PS2 games I've beaten. And I'm considering doing a few of the PS2 playthroughs with commentary. So if you're interested in that, give LOCLOUDANE Gameplay a follow as well. I really appreciate the support there. The channel is almost to the point where I can monetize it, which is very exciting. It will definitely motivate me once I get there to kind of up my work on that side of the business. So with that being said, the final announcement here is that I am going to be doing a huge focus on Patreon. As most viewers will know from following other people, YouTube's monetization is very difficult to navigate. I've had videos that I couldn't monetize that I've still put forward because I'm not doing this just for the money. I'm doing this because it's a passion of mine. But making money is the main focus here, as far as money gives me time to play more games, to spend
more of what you're wanting to do.
Do more of what I'm wanting to do. I mean, the ultimate goal would be to retire and kind of move into full-time YouTube. And so with that, I've decided that I'm going to be doing a paywall method for those of you who are interested in the alternative media that I've been producing. I will be doing a Patreon exclusive video once a month. These videos will be really anything, from reviews, from retrospectives, from, really anything I can think of. I just want to test out new media, and if you are interested in, if you've enjoyed my take on video games, or really just like following me for my amazing personality, you can join Patreon, and there you're going to get a few different perks. I've created 3 tiers. For just $1 a month, you're going to get access to the full video library. Really, the only perk you're not going to get with $1 a month is a request for a tier list or a video. If you join either that's called the membership tier. Joining the top tier, which is $5 a month, you will be able to request a video of whatever you're wanting me to make, as long as it sticks within the bounds of my channel and it's not a personal request of anything that requires me to show myself or my family or anything like that. Nothing weird. And the third tier is really no different. I call it the God tier. The God tier is really no different than the top tier. It's $10 a month, and it's really just if you see my passion and you want to support fully what I am doing, that is why that tier is there. And like I said, if you become a Patreon member, you're going to get full access to this library. Now, I have all of my old anime YouTube videos from my anime channel. I know some of you followed me way back then in 2014. So I put all those on, and then like I said, once a month moving forward, I will have a Patreon exclusive video that will go out. The month of May will be my Americana and Japanese video games video, which I've been working on this script for like 7 months. I'm very excited about the video. And it will be the first content locked behind that paywall. So again, if you want access to that, if you want to follow me along this journey and you want to fully support me, please head over to Patreon. Again, $1 a month gets you access to my entire library and all exclusive videos moving forward. And I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the support.
And another plug for Patreon is he spends a lot of time chatting with whoever are Patreon members. So if you want more time to ask questions or just to say I liked this game or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. The pro chat is what we call it, and it's either a group chat with all of the Patreon members, or personal message me on Patreon. I do answer back, and I've had conversations with all my Patreon members, who are active on the site, and it's been a lot of fun. So again, if you'd like to click on the link in this video and join the pro tier today, or join Patreon today, I really appreciate it. So thank you all for supporting me and watching the video up to this point. I did ask if anyone had any questions, and I did get a few good questions here. So I am going to have my wife read them to me, and then I'm going to answer them the best of my ability. I did read them initially, but I haven't really given much thought to every question. So I'm excited to jump into this part.
Okay. And keeping with the theme of the LOCLOUDANE channel, I'm going to try my best to butcher every single name here.
That is what we do here.
I'm kidding. I'm going to try my best. Okay. All right. First question is from Mark Diaz 8895. What got you into the genre of JRPGs?
Yes. What got me into the genre of JRPGs? I think that I have always had like a natural interest in Japanese culture. I mean, obviously, I probably wasn't born with it, but thinking about how little exposure I had to it, it's amazing how I would see something that was influenced by the Japanese culture and immediately recognize it as something different than what I'd grown up with. Some of the more common examples were like Dragon Ball. You're watching cartoons on Saturday morning or whatever, and all of a sudden Dragon Ball pops up, or Pokemon, like the Pokemon anime. You know, going from Looney Tunes and Scooby-Doo to Dragon Ball and Pokemon, you were like, wow, there's a huge difference here, and that drew me in, and then on top of that, you know, I didn't have much of an interest in video games. I'm kind of a late bloomer when it comes to video games. You know, I did play video games growing up. We had a Sega, and we had like Sonic and Tetris and a lot of like normal games. And I thought they were fun, you know, as fun as like riding a bike was or anything else. But I remember specifically, and it took me a long time to figure out what the game was, but my dad was a scout leader in California, and he took me when I was very young over to this house they were all meeting at, and all these scouts were around the TV playing a Super Nintendo, and they were super excited because they were just about to beat a game. And I watched, and the game was kind of dark and moody, and there was this line of characters. And then they went into battle, and like I saw that some of the characters were in battle, some weren't. And somewhere in my brain, I was like, "Oh, this is very fascinating, very fascinating." And then later on, I found out that was Final Fantasy VI, or technically it was Final Fantasy III, because that's what it was released in America as. But it's actually Final Fantasy VI, and it was the final boss with Kefka. And it had all the party members. I remember they even had Umaro, which is one of the hidden characters, because I remember seeing him specifically. And that was that. I never forgot that. Later on at my cousin's house, and I've told this story before, he's playing Final Fantasy VII, and I just saw it, and it changed something in me, and I just thought, like, I have to get into this. And then it was later on, I got a PS1. I got Final Fantasy VII, my green label copy, which I still have. Oh, wait, I don't. It broke. But I have a different copy that I have bought it from Costco. Put that disc in and never went back. Can never get enough of the JRPG genre. And hopefully never will. So, thank you for the question.
All right, next question is Brian P. Gwell. What is your favorite JRPG?
So favorite JRPG of all time is probably always and always will be Final Fantasy VII. My favorite recent JRPG though is actually Monochrome Mobius. Just thinking about games I've played recently, I loved this game, and no one talks about it, and I just adored it. Funny enough, it's not in my top 10 Favorite video games of all time. But when I think about like what was the recent experience that I had that just felt like that pure, like old style fun JRPG that makes me think of days playing Final Fantasy VII or Final Fantasy VIII, Final Fantasy IX, or Chrono Cross or any of these PS1 classics, Monochrome Mobius comes to mind. Absolutely love this game. But favorite of all time, it's Final Fantasy VII. Thank you for the question.
All right, next question is Sebastian D. Zulsolano, 2707.
Good job.
Thank you. What games have your favorite character art and why?
I
feel like I know this.
That's easy. That's easy.
Do I know this?
Yeah, you do. Go ahead.
I can't think of the name of it, but it's like Unicorn Overlord
yep.
Vanillaware.
Vanillaware.
Yes.
Yep. Vanillaware games.
My favorite too.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Just George Tamakami, something like that. George Kamatami. Yeah. George Kamatami's artwork is fantastic. Mainly, I mean, like, it just looks amazing. You look at Unicorn Overlord. You look at 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. You look at Odin Sphere. Just so many fantastic titles. Dragon's Crown. I think why it's my favorite artwork is that it is so, like, everything you see in those games. It's
outrageous and it's very distinct.
Very distinct.
You would know it anywhere.
You could never mistake it for anything. It reminds me of how Studio Ghibli films were before. I mean, they still are kind of, but there's nothing like them.
Yeah.
They have their own style. Also, fan service, like sexualized characters, especially female characters, is like a mixed bag for me. I obviously don't care for the practice of like just blatantly sexualizing female characters to sell things. I'm not a big fan of just straight up fan service anime or games like the Senran Gakura series or the Neptunia series. Like they're fine. I don't judge anyone who likes those, but never been my bag, my favorite thing. But when it's done tastefully, like, I love it. Like, Dragon's Crown, the sorceress, we've talked about this. She's just banger. And it was so fun to play as this giant boobed, like, witch lady, Yeah. And Unicorn Overlord just had so many fantastic female characters and so tastefully done. So, yeah, George Kamatami's artwork and character design in the Vanillaware games is top-notch. And I recommend everyone go and play those. Thank you for the question.
All right, next one is Punk Statics. What gaming and anime franchise would you like to be seen turned into an RPG that are not currently already one?
This was such a good question. Such a good question. I actually, this is like the only question that stuck with me until we recorded this that I've thought about constantly. I have to say that if I could see any anime franchise or non-video game franchise become, it would have to be anything created by Tsutomu Nihei. For those of you who don't know, Tsutomu Nihei is a manga artist who did titles like Blam Blam. He did let's see here. Knights of Sidonia. He did Aposism. He's done so many of these things. If I was to explain like what type of stories they are, the only other storytelling I've seen that compares to it is kind of the storytelling of the Dark Souls series, the Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, kind of that. Like you read his stuff and you just don't know what's going on. But I think about like the rise of Souls-like titles and how popular they've become. And I read Nihei's work and I think, oh my gosh, they need to get this guy in because, like, for example, Elden Ring, they got the Game of Thrones author, I forget his name, George R. R. Martin to come in and help write that story. I think like they should get Nihei to come in and help write some kind of, I feel like it'd just be like a dark, twisted sci-fi game of some sort, kind of Souls-like with an obscure story. But yeah, anything. I mean, and honestly, like they could adopt Blam or Knights of Sidonia or Apostasm or any of his titles. Like they could adopt it. I would much rather see him come up with original content for like a Souls type game. That would they could charge me a $10,000 and I would just sell everything in this room to make it happen. I'm not kidding you. That would be amazing. So thank you so much. That was a very thoughtful question. I really like that one.
All right, next one is from Pikmin Fan 46434. What is your favorite color?
Blue.
No, green.
Yeah, it's always been blue.
Yep.
I'm just like a normal dude.
It should be white though. You always wear white.
White isn't a color.
It's all
White's
colors.
a shade. White and black are shades. My son's favorite color is black, and I keep on telling him like you can't be black.
And it's all the colors.
yeah. Blue though, it's always been my favorite color. So thank you for the question.
All right, Kianlin 3260 asks, what game makes you love the RPG genre?
I'm gonna take this as what recent games make me like, because
Okay.
you kind of like when you love something like this that's ongoing with updates and stuff, you're constantly falling back in love with it, you know. So what recent RPGs have made me fall back in love with the RPG genre? Unicorn Overlord.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was such a fantastic game. And what's cool is that Unicorn Overlord, its battle system is actually much older than people realize. You know, you have the Tactics Ogre series that was done in this way. The there was one on like the Sega CD, I forget, or one of the older like Dreamcast or something. I can't remember, but I played that game. I just thought, wow, this is fantastic. Discovering the Trails series. I played Trails of Cold Steel on my PS3. I mean, it was quite a while ago, but it had been out for a long time. Trails series wasn't new; it was old. But I played that title, and it was like I found an RPG for the first time all over again. And I went through and played everything in the whole series and loved it all. I already mentioned Monochrome Mobius, but Monochrome Mobius just has the feel of like an old style PS2 RPG, you know? I mean, for the PS2 challenge, I played the Shadow Hearts, two of the Shadow Hearts games, and just, Shadow Hearts Covenant is so good. But yeah, that like, it's games like those that keep me going. And then, I mean, this is a little bit separate from the question, but kind of getting into the Souls-like genre was another one that just sucked me in and made me love video games in general all over again. So yeah, no, but that's, yeah. So thank you for the question.
All right, next question is from Radio Cosmic Ray. What's your personal top 5 party members in JRPGs?
Oh, I should have thought about this one
You
more.
didn't think about this one?
I know.
Like, write it down.
I know. I should have. I feel like I took notes somewhere because I was thinking about. It was right on the back of this paper. There we go. Awesome. This was just like my first initial thoughts. My favorite. Okay, so I'm gonna make me a rule: not main characters, because it's just not. That's not a fun question. But party members that join you along the way. My favorite party member. I'm gonna do this backwards. I'll do my number 1 first. My favorite party member of all time will always be Tifa Lockhart. Mm-hmm. Final Fantasy VII Tifa Lockhart, the remakes Tifa Lockhart. She's just so freaking cool. Just there's nothing cooler than a hot chick who wears brass knuckles and does freaking dolphin flips into bad guys' faces. Like, I just will always love Tifa Lockhart. she is the reason I've always liked dark-haired, dark-eyed, beautiful women. Yeah, the Tiva Lockhart. I in the Suikoden series, I oh my gosh, why can I not remember her name? Jean. Jean's like a reoccurring character, and I promise not all of mine are just sexy women, but Jean is definitely one of those two. But I think it's really cool how Suikoden has had all these different reoccurring characters, but Jean has always been one of my favorites. She's always like this mystical, kind of mysterious, like hot lady, and like she's always a mage, and you get to use her in parties. But I've always liked her a lot. Cosmos from the Xenoblade Chronicles series, or sorry, the Xenosaga series. She started in Xenosaga. You can use her in all three of those games. Technically not the main character, but then she's also in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as a character you can get, and then she's also in the Super Robot Tyson Endless Frontier game as well. She's a character in that. You get her across all these different games. And the reason she is because she's so freaking cool. She's like this freaking awesome robot that uses miniguns, giant miniguns and stuff. So, yeah. I just realized this is my only not hot chick. So I guess I am a reprobate. Watt from Paper Mario. So Watt is like this adorable little sun. He's like a sun, like, you know, fire sun.
Yeah.
And he has like a pacifier in his mouth, and he's like freaking adorable. And I've always loved him so much. Bombette is another character you get in that game. She was like a close second to him, but Watt has just always been my favorite. And then just more recently, I played Yuden Chronicles, and there's this character I thought was the coolest idea. Her name was Lamb, I believe, and she was this old, like, crotchety lady, and then you use like one turn and you activate her power, and she turns into like this beautiful woman who's like a martial artist. And I thought that was so fun. You had like this old lady. Like, my team was like, I love like unique characters that make my team look different. You know, that's why like Watt or like Quina from Final Fantasy 9 or any of these Kimari from Final Fantasy 10 or any of these characters. But like Lamb, it was cool to be like walking around with this old lady in my party. Especially that she turned into a cool martial arts chick, which, going with the theme here, makes sense. So I'm glad I remembered that I wrote these down.
Good job.
Great question. Thank you for the question.
All right, next question is from Nightmare Oni. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen European swallow?
This is one of my Patreon members. Join Patreon today to become a jackass like Nightmare Oni.
That's not nice.
I don't know what the airspeed philosophy is of that.
Ask ChatGPT.
But I do know that comes from Harry Potter, which is my wife's least favorite series in the world. And Nightmare Oni, thank you for the question. Next.
He always tells the same dumb jokes. I don't know if you've caught on to that, but...
Because they're funny. All
right, next. Daniel Pokemon 197. What's next for Who is Best?
Oh, great question. In the month of May, I have the Bravely second end layer job tier list, which has just been a beast to put together. But I don't know if there's a game that does jobs better than the Bravely Default series, and I'm super excited. I know some people don't really like the second game, but it's technically not the second one, but the second in release order. But yeah, so I'm doing a compilation of jobs for that. I still have 2 outgoing Patreon requests. One is for Shin Megami Tensei 3. It's the demon tier list, which is going to be massive. I think there's almost 100 demons in that. It will be a lot like how I did the Final Fantasy 13-2 tier list. And then I have a request to do the job tier list of the Yakuza sequel, Yakuza Like a Dragon money. It's called like Infinite Wealth. Infinite Wealth. But I've never played either of those games, so I need to play through the first and second one before I put together. But those, I'm gonna try my hardest to get those out before the end of the year. I also have Trails Through Daybreak 2 that I need to hit, Dragon Quest 3 Remaster, and I want to go back to some classics. I want to go back to some classic series that I haven't done. I want to finish up the Breath of Fire series. And then also, I don't know if everyone caught it, but I'm going through and replaying and then reassessing all the Final Fantasy titles as well. I started with Final Fantasy 12, and I'm working on Final Fantasy 9 right now. Because those are some of my oldest videos, and I watch them now and I think, oh man, like I made a mistake here. I've learned so much here, so I'm gonna redo those and try to make like the definitive tier list if I can. But yeah, that's what's coming up for Who's Best. So thank you for the question.
All right, last question comes from Gianelli2291, and it's, what's an RPG you loved as a kid that you actually enjoy more as an adult?
Oh, my goodness. Loved as a kid, but enjoy more as an adult. This is definitely one. This is a great question. I don't even know why I didn't like give this one some thought. As a kid, I did not beat many games. I started a lot of games. I did not beat many of them. And so it's interesting to go back and replay games as an adult and think like, oh man, like why didn't I just keep on rolling with this game? You know? But I think the uninteresting answer is Final Fantasy IX. I definitely appreciate it as a kid. Definitely appreciate it as a kid. But as an adult, especially like now playing with my kids, our kids, it's such a beautiful game. I just love it. I love the message in it. I love the artwork. I love the storyline. I love the characters. I even love like the combat and all the different mechanics in it. Another game, actually, I just thought of one more that I played recently that I did play when I was a little younger and didn't appreciate it, was Lost Odyssey. I don't know if you remember me playing that one, but so Lost Odyssey is, I feel like you cannot appreciate Lost Odyssey unless you're a parent. Like fully appreciate it. I'm sure you can appreciate it, but until you've had your own children and you've experienced what it is to be a parent, that game's entire story is about immortality and kind of and how it's actually a curse, not a blessing to live forever. And it revolves so heavily around being a parent and the love of a parent and children and what children go through because of their parents. And so that's one that I appreciate so much more as an adult than I did as a child. So thank you for the question. And that ends this update video. Next week we'll be back on a release schedule. I know that April's been kind of dry as far as videos have gone. If you're interested, I did a collab with Hellfire RPG, which is on the channel, kind of more of a podcast style video, so you can just listen to it. I did a gameplay video where I played through the first 10 minutes of 25 RPGs that you can check out. And again, if you want to keep up with some of these, with my videos, I'll be posted on Patreon. For just $1 a month, you can get access to the entire library, and May will be when I release the Americana and Japanese videos essay. Very much looking forward to that. Looking forward to kind of focusing in focusing in on the channel and kind of getting the content more focused and into this new release schedule and kind of getting this and continuing to do what I do. I absolutely love what I do. I would love to do this full time, and there's a roadmap for that. But it all depends on all of you and your support. So thank you so much for it. Thank you to my Patreon members. Thank you to all you who will join Patreon after this video. I truly appreciate everything you do, and I will catch you later.